Earlier today, I spoke to Jonathan Arnott, who was a UKIP MEP until recently. He's now an independent MEP, and he campaigned for leave. Jonathan, do you think it's fair to say that the business community is mostly pro-customs union?
I think that's a very difficult question because, as with anything, different businesses believe different things. One of the real questions that isn't asked very often is, what do businesses that only do their business within the UK think? The businesses that don't trade overseas, that don't want to be subject to substantial amounts of European Union legislation. And very, very rarely is that question asked of them. Then you get the businesses which like the convenience of the customs union for the current business that they are doing, but what they would need to see is a British government actually doing something to make sure that we're negotiating good, quality, comprehensive free trade deals around the world, and they need to see, before they can be supportive of the UK outside the customs union, they need to see a government that is absolutely committed to making sure that we are negotiating those free trade deals and making sure that Britain is open for business globally, not just within the European Union.
Jonathan, there's been a lot of talk recently about a new trade agreement with the EU. Would you be happy to see that?
Well, it depends what you mean. Of course, if you use the phrase a new trade agreement with the European Union, that could mean all kinds of different things. Look, what I'm seeking really from this is to have an arrangement with the European Union that minimises non-tariff barriers, that eliminates tariffs wherever possible, but still gives the UK the maximum possible flexibility so that we can be open for business to the rest of the world, negotiate those trade deals with the emerging markets across the globe. So, by 2050, according to the EU's own figures, the EU 27 put together will only be the world's fourth largest economy. So we need to look at the emerging markets that are going to be overtaking the European Union over the next decades, and we need to be taking an approach that is developing over a period of time and making sure that we are prepared for what the world is becoming.
Many of those who want us to stay in the customs union are fearful of the future under Brexit. How hopeful are you that the UK will be better off out of the EU?
I'm absolutely convinced that the UK will be better off out. What does sometimes concern me is a little bit of a lack of political certainty from this Conservative government. I don't feel that the government has necessarily really grasped the bull by the horns, so to speak, with this, and I'm not convinced it's taken the proactive measures to be able to get all the benefits of Brexit as soon as possible. We hear so much about negativity, about challenges, about replicating what we currently have with the European Union, but we don't hear enough about the added value coming from Brexit. So I'm convinced that Brexit will be a success. How quickly it will be a huge success, how quickly we can prove that added value, really depends on how quickly people in government start to look at the broader global picture and start trying to take advantage of those opportunities. But if we were still in the customs union, it would be very, very difficult to take advantage of those opportunities because we would still, in a lot of ways, be tied to European Union legislation, European Union tariffs on imports. There would be a lot of things that would impact on our trade with third countries. And those third countries, let's not forget, are the growth areas in the world.
That was Jonathan Arnott, who's an independent MEP for the North East of England.